So you need to create some content, you're racking your brain, and then, but don't worry, in today's video, we're gonna fix all that. Ben Norman here, and in today's video, we are gonna be looking at how to find new content ideas so that you're always gonna have something to post, write about, create, or record content on. And as we know, the key with creating good content is creating content that A, people are searching about, B, that they care about, and ultimately there needs to be value in it. And before we get into it, I'd love to know, how do you typically come up with your content ideas? Let me know in the comments below, and let's get into the video. So we've all been there. We need to create new content for a new video, blog post, or sometimes even a social post, and we just get a bit stuck. No matter what we try, we just cannot seem to get in that space or come up with an idea on the spot of what to post about. So on that note, I thought I would do a video on my killer list of top 10 ways to find content ideas that means you will never have to scrabble around for a content idea ever again. And I'm going to link all of the resources that I mentioned in the description below, so you don't have to worry about scrubbing around writing down a load of links. Just be sure to check them out after this video, and without further ado, let's get into number 1 on the list. Let's go. Okay, so the first place we are going to visit is Answer the Public, which you can get your data absolutely free. They do have a pro version, but you'll be able to use this at no cost at all. So for all of these examples, to keep it consistent, I'm going to use the theme of digital cameras. So all we're going to put in here is digital cameras, and we're going to see what we get. I'm going to keep it to the UK as well, keep it a little bit more specific. So we're literally just going to hit go, and then Answer the Public is going to go away and basically use Google's auto suggest feature to work out what people are searching for. So it's going to break it down, and I love this because it puts it in a very visual format. So you can look and you just get an absolute ton of content ideas. You know, some of them will always be a little bit kind of gobbledygook, but you kind of need to go through and pick out the good ideas that you can then build on as well. You know, how do digital cameras store images? How do digital cameras work? And you can normally find some really kind of really random topics that you can basically drill down on and utilize, and you can filter down, you know, prepositions, comparisons, things like that. But it's a really good way of running through and getting some really, really good ideas to kind of start with. And if you don't want to use the visualizer tool, you can basically just come down and look at it like this, which can be a lot easier. So, you know, digital cameras for vlogging, digital cameras for wildlife photography. And it's just really good for kind of piquing your interest. And this is normally, if I want some really kind of quick ideas, I can just basically go straight over to Answer the Public, put it in, and get these ideas straight out. So that's idea number 1. Next, we're going to come over to Buzzsumo, and again, you can do a cheap trial on here, I believe, but again, we're going to go in with digital cameras and hit go. So you can see we're not logged in, so some filters will be limited. I do have an account for this, but I'm not going to log into it because I just want to give you an example of what you could get for free. But again, you can do a trial, so you know, and it's not that expensive a service to use, but this can be really good for finding content ideas as well. And you can drill down and find stuff, for example, you know, past 6 months, past 24 hours. But what this is really good for is giving you a snapshot of some different ideas, and you can see how they've done well in engagement. So, you know, different kind of engagement and the link metrics that have come back to them. And this can be really useful for seeing how much traction different kind of topics can get. So you can scroll down, get different ideas on this. You can then obviously put in different suggestions based on the search terms that you've already uncovered in Answer the Public. You can take those which are a bit longer tail search phrases and put those in here and get some more specific information. But Buzzsumo can be really useful for that, and like I say, for getting those engagement metrics as well. You can get an idea on how much traction a certain topic or post could get before you've even written it, based on what other people have written. So for that, Buzzsumo is really good. So number 3 on our list is Ubersuggest. Again, we can come over here, we can drill down to our region, and we can put digital cameras in, hit go, and Ubersuggest will do its thing. And if we look over here to the left, we can see content ideas. So we're not as interested on the keyword overview. Obviously it will suggest some other things here, but if we go over into the content ideas, which is what we are interested in here, you can see a little bit again like Buzzsumo, but it's going to give us some more ideas. And as we go down here, you can see estimated visits, you can see links, again, Facebook, Pinterest, things like that. So obviously it wants you to log in, it is free, but you can log in and just get more data. And again, we can use the content ideas to come up with new ideas, and we can then drill down on those further by, you know, expanding our search term up here and get some more accurate data to what we're targeting. So the idea is that we're just using lots and lots of different sources to find lots of different ideas, and then once we've got some ideas, we can basically run those through the different tools to find out what content is doing well that's already out there, so that we can kind of put our spin on it, emulate it, do it slightly different, but have a good confidence that it will do well. Okay, so for number 4, we're going to come over to YouTube, and we are going to use Ubersuggest. So we are going to again look at digital cameras, and we are going to get a load of suggestions here of what people are kind of commonly searching for. Also, this data here is from a tool that we're going to go through in a minute called Keywords Everywhere. And that pulls through the estimated monthly search volume and the cost per clicks of those search terms. So this can be really useful for at a glance seeing how many searches terms are getting. Another top tip here, if you can see here, it's digital cameras and then search to other things at the end. If you want to look at appending stuff to the beginning of that search term, if you put an underscore and a space, you will see it will start doing so, putting it before as well. So how do digital cameras work? Best digital cameras of 2020. Also, our Keywords Everywhere data will come into this as well. The other way that we can use YouTube Suggest and YouTube data, so we can also come over into TubeBuddy and come down into the Keyword Explorer, and again we can use this in a very similar way. We can go digital cameras and explore, and the good thing with TubeBuddy is that it will give us an overall keyword score. It kind of lets us know, yes, the search volume is really good, the competition is crazy, you know, because obviously it's such a competitive keyword. It tells us how many videos are in the search results, monthly searches as an estimate. But over here is what we're interested in, because we can see here it's giving us related, and this is where we're going to get some good ideas. We can also go down into web searches. So again, it will kind of pull in from Google, and again, video topics, and we can just keep drilling down on things like these and then getting the overall score on that, seeing whether that is going to be a little bit easier to target. But the normal rule is the longer tail, i.e. the bigger the search phrase, the less searches it's going to get, but the less competition it's actually going to have. So we want to try and make sure that we're going after keywords that drive good amounts of traffic but don't have crazy amounts of competition, and that's where TubeBuddy can help. And also in a similar way, I go into in other videos, but you've got Keyword Inspector in vidIQ, which I like to use as well. So we can go in here, digital cameras, and again, we can see the top trending videos here for ideas, but you can also here look at drilling down on overall score to get a glance and going through and seeing what other ideas they are coming up with for us. You know, best camera for travel, things like that. And obviously, if we are segmenting it based on overall score, the higher the number here, the better it's going to be to go for, according to vidIQ. So again, we can go through this list, get a lot more keyword ideas as well. So number 5 on our list is Ahrefs, and this is a really, really good tool. It is a paid for tool. However, you can get a 7-day trial for just $7. So it is well worth having a play with it because the stuff this thing can do is incredible. I shall log in quickly so that I can show you exactly what it does. Okay, so now we're going to want to head over to Content Explorer, and in here we are going to want to put, again, digital cameras from everywhere, and there's a few really cool things we can do. To start with, we have got just a load of data that has come in, but we want to drill this down. We want to make it a little bit more realistic. Now, let's say we want to find some low-hanging fruit. We want to find some content ideas that we can go after that get a good amount of traffic, but they're not super competitive. It's not going to be that hard for us to get traction there. What we're going to do is add in a couple of filters here. So we are going to look at organic traffic that's, let's just say, over 100 searches, and then from there we are going to say no referring domains. So what this is going to show us, 0 to 0. So we want to basically see traffic. So these are posts that have got over 100 over 100 visits from organic traffic, but they've got no links to them. So this should be quite low-hanging fruit for us to go after. So then by going through, we can see, look at all of the traffic that all of these pages here are getting, 672 searches. They got no referring domains. So this is just through writing good content that's probably optimized for this term, but they've not generated any links to that content yet. So this way of doing it is a really, really good way of identifying some kind of low-hanging quick wins. So just by adding in these couple of filters. So this tool can be really, really good. Also, if you have created content around a certain topic, you can also look for people that are linking to content similar to what you'll have created, but the links are now broken. So you can see here, you'll also only want one page per domain because you don't want to be going after loads and loads, but you can then see different content that has got broken links that you can basically go after and target. So you can also add some filters in just to say, over a certain amount of referring domains, just to narrow it down a little bit as well. And you're also able to kind of go in, so you can just see that straight away these bits of content, they've got links, but the content's not there anymore. And there's 28 referring domains, so we can just go straight in and look at these. I mean, that's a bad example because there are a lot of news sites, but you can go through looking at referring domains and target these people and say, hey, I can see you've linked to this similar bit of content. That link's now broken. you know, just to let you know, but I've also created this really cool piece of content you might find useful, so feel free to change the link to that. Have a great day. You know, you can generate links out of doing this, so they're two really, really good tactics that you can use with Ahrefs to not only find really good content ideas that you know are getting traffic, but also that you can probably get ranking quite easily because people are already ranking for it without any backlinks into that content. And also you're able then to use the only broken function to find broken links to go and then target those referring sites and get them to link to your content. So not only have you created content that you should be able to rank quite easily, if you did need to build some links in to get your rankings higher, you can use this feature to target those links. Okay, so number 6, we're going to head over to Quora, and this is just a lot of people ask a lot of different things, and a lot of people come in and answer those things. So all we're going to do is again look at digital cameras, and we can go through and look at that, and then we are going to see what questions are being asked. Okay, so we can see we're looking at this, and we can come down and we can just see what people are asking and who is getting involved in whatever topic. So it is just a case of going through Quora, having a look in the different sections, and you can go into different related spaces. And here you go. So if we click on answer, you can see here questions added. What are the best fields for photography? How do I clean my laptop camera? You know, how do I connect my camera to my laptop with HDMI? There's so many different questions that get asked, and you can see who's answering. You can see how much activity is on each of the threads. So this again can be a really good free way to work out what people are talking about, what questions they're asking, and how you can get involved and create content that answers those questions. You could then even go back in and basically say, oh yeah, great, I answered this in my latest post here. You know, check it out if you want. So there's lots of different ways that you can target that by using Quora, and it's totally free. Okay, so number 7 is going to be Google Suggest, but we're not just going to be using Google Suggest, we're going to be supercharging it by using the Keywords Everywhere plugin. Now this is awesome. You saw it flash up in YouTube, and it just gives us a load of keyword data on specific keywords when they pop up. It is a paid for service, but you get loads of credits. It costs literally pennies, so it is well worth having. So if we start putting in digital cameras, you can see here all of this getting pulled in is from Keywords Everywhere. So not only are we getting the suggestions from Google, you are also seeing the Keywords Everywhere data as well. And remember that top tip, if you put an underscore and a space, you start getting suggestions from before that search phrase as well. So this can really help you identify some good topics to go after. You can keep elaborating out on this, but it just gives you some really good quick data, and the Keywords Everywhere plugin is awesome for just seeing how much search traffic that can really get. Okay, so number 8 on the list is Reddit, and a bit like Quora, this is a place where people discuss a whole host of different topics. So we are able to go in here and find out what they are talking about and see if there is anything good coming up that will pique our interest that we can create content around. So you can see here, based on a whole different factors like relevance, posts from all time, so you can drill down to the past hour if you want and find out what's kind of current. There's nothing there. So if we look at the past week, and let's see, so you can just see the kinds of things that people are discussing on here, and see if there's any way that you can use this information to help you come up with different ideas for your content. You can look at if there's a lot of people chipping in and confused on a certain subject or wanting clarification on a certain subject, or you just see a big cluster around a new topic or people discussing something. Look at how you can create content around that, because you can kind of seed it into here if you can help with that. And also if people are looking for it on here, people are going to be looking for it just on the web in general. So Reddit is also free, so another good place to get ideas from. So number 9 on the list is utilizing things like Facebook groups. Again, a bit like Quora and Reddit, people discuss a whole host of different topics on Facebook. As you can see, just searching for digital cameras, you can see there are a whole host of different groups through here. So you are able to go through, find a group that would be more specific to the shortlisted topics that you're looking to go after. So say, you know, it was something to do with vintage digital cameras, for example, then that would be quite a good group for you. A lot of groups they have made private, so you now need to join the group. You know, make sure you don't spam, make sure you look at the rules of the group, but you want to go in there and find out what people are confused with, what they're asking questions on, and then think how you can generate content around that. Now, I know with a lot of these tools and services, there's a lot of crossover, but this is good because what you will typically find as you've narrowed down in the early stages the kind of topic that you want to go after or the idea that you've got, you will just find as you go through different groups, similar themes will keep popping up, and this just makes it really clear there's a real need for content around these subjects. So you will get crossover, but as you go through the different ways, you don't have to use all of them again, but they will help you drill down and identify what you should be creating content around. And like I say, you're going to get a massive amount of ideas from running through this process. Okay, which leads us to number 10 on the list. Why am I on Amazon? Well, there is a really good way of using Amazon for content ideas that a lot of people don't even think about. Now, if we go in here and we look again at digital camera, we're going to come down. Now, the way that you would drill this down would be dependent on, I guess, the topic or the theme that you have gone for, but I'm just going to pick one at random. So I'm going to pick this one as a bestseller. So say that it's something around DSLRs. You know, if it was a compact point and shoot, you would pick one of those. What we want to do is we want to scroll down past the product and we want to look at two things. We want to look at here, the customer questions and answers, because this can provide a whole host of things that we can do, create content around. So, you know, which lens is recommended for closer and distance objects in general? Does this camera have an external mic port? You know, these can like twig so many different content ideas, it's unreal. You know, is the lens removal, I mean, some of these are quite silly, but you know, some of these can provide really good ideas for content because these people are interested in buying this camera. So if you sold digital cameras and you're looking to build content, well, if you can create content that is very well matched to people that are about to buy a camera, that have got all the way to Amazon to look at this camera to ask a question here. If you can solve the problems that people have right before the stage in which they buy the actual camera, if you've got them on your site at that time, well, what a great way to then get them to buy the camera on your site. You've answered the last question they probably had in that process. And as you can see, for this specific camera, there is 339 questions been asked. You know, there is so many different ideas here. Now, if we go back again, because obviously this is the questions and answers section, but what we also can do here as well as another idea is we can look at the Reviews. Have a look at the reviews and see what people say is really good, but also look at the problems that people say they have, because this can be a really good way or a good idea for content. So one of the things that kind of not included, oddly, is a touchscreen, which obviously anyone who uses their phone computer would be useful. It seems odd omission, perhaps it's a way of cutting costs. So this could be a really good idea, you know, of the benefits of a touchscreen with a digital SLR, or, you know, there's a whole host of things here that you could kind of tap into to create content around. So, and like I say, this is an idea that not a lot of people think of. Most people kind of get to Google Autosuggest if they're lucky, or they try and predict exactly what somebody's going to search. But what a better way of doing it is to actually go and look at what people are actually searching for. And like I say, because somebody is actually on Amazon at this time, especially the questions and answers on Amazon can be so powerful, so do not overlook that opportunity. Okay, so between those tools, you are never going to have a reason to run out of content ideas ever again. Your new problem is going to be where to start. Now, I hope you found this video useful. As always, if you have, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new here, consider becoming a subscriber and hitting the bell icon to be notified as soon as I release more content like this to help you build and scale your business through better systems, strategies, and marketing. And I'll see you all in the next video.